this student did one about disasters, and it was back, it was based on the Fukushima, you know, the disaster there with the big earthquake which made a tsunami, you know, go into Japan. And of course, after that disaster, then people were using social media, right? There was tweets going, you know, ballistic with people, you know, what happens when there's a natural disaster? You would think the same thing in Christchurch here in New Zealand when we had that bad earthquake 4 years ago, whenever that was. Okay, so, hello. So this student has, wasn't a perfect one. He hasn't got much of a kind of an overview of what he's going to talk about, but he's put the name of the article up there. That was his article, and he's talked about that. And then he's said something about Twitter. He's defined, if you like, what Twitter is, and how many users, etc. And so he talked about the actual technology, which you all know about. Then he's talked about what happened at Fukushima. So obviously he's just got little bullet pointy things there too. Then he talks about those things. And put a picture in there. Then the article was about, were these tweets that were kind of giving hope, or were they giving blue, you know, bad? Were they like positive messages, or were they, oh, everything, you know, everyone's dying, it's all bad, blah, blah. So was it alarming, was it reassuring, was it alarm raising, if you like, panic, or sort of doubt? And so in the article they classified the tweets, and there was a difference between what the Japanese government was doing and other governments. And so he's talked about the article, what they found when they analysed who was doing what with their tweets after the disaster. And then he's talked about, remember that you need to bring in New Zealand. You have to say something about New Zealand, not a lot. This was quite an easy topic because he was able, to do that because he was able to bring in Christchurch, this earthquake. And he found some data about, in New Zealand, just so huge amount of tweets immediately after the earthquake, and you can see dropping off over time.
I was one of them.
And so he looked at what was going on in the media immediately after the earthquake in Christchurch. So he did a little bit of research. That was a good aspect of what the student did. People last year, they had to talk about professionalism as well as ethics, but you don't, so it's a bit different. You would just be talking in your one about ethics. And then that was it, finish. He said, who's got questions? There's his references. Okay? So